Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 22 with the Pittsburgh Pirates. So, our first couple seasons have not gone super well, but they also could have gone much worse. It's easier to see this here. So, we did manage to win more games. We even finished higher in the division. And it's a good start. But we also need to do a lot better. If we're going to be anywhere near competing for the playoffs next couple of seasons, we need more talent. That's for certain. And we need to start thinking about the future in terms of the players we want to prioritize and the players that we're not so interested in. Beginning with, I'm going to take Noah Smith here, and we are going to personally shepherd his development. You know my general rule. Anyone in the 60s, I will look at. The 50s, it depends. The other thing I want to do is think about replacing our scout. He is good. He's not terrible at it. And while we could probably get a better scout, I think I'd rather wait. We've got some pending offers. So the first thing we're going to do, now that we've confirmed how that's working, cohesion is pretty great. Mostly thanks to Don Kelly. He's kind of the anchor of our team. Wish we had someone better to teach base running. But we'll figure that out later on. We want to look at salary arbitration and see if anyone is due a large raise. So, Stephen Brault. He was a nice little swingman for us. We could probably stand to keep him for another season. On the other hand, I don't know that he's all that valuable. On the other hand, it would mean signing another starter. And the one problem is we don't have any starting pitchers that are really ready to take on a bigger role. So I think, except for JT Brubaker, of course. So I think as a one-year thing, signing him to a one-year extension makes a lot of sense. Boop. And there we go. I think that's very reasonable. Nick Pavetta. I know he was a big part of our recent trade effort, but he was pretty far below replacement level. And he's only actually had one good season, which was with Boston last season. If we take a look at what we traded for him, we gave up Will Myers, who, it turns out had a pretty good season in Boston, so maybe that was a mistake, except for saving his salary. That was pretty much just trying to free up our payroll. What does Pavetta want? He only wants a very slight raise. I think that's understandable. Oh, he doesn't even want to talk because he's pissy. That's fine. I do definitely want to give Tanner Rainey an extension. Let's get closer to his arbitration amount. Richard Rodriguez, honestly, we can do way better. And especially his movement is deeply problematic. We can do better. We have lots of relievers. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's try trading him first. Just prospects, please. And then if I can't get any decent prospects, I'm just going to non-tender him. You're a center fielder who can't field or hit. You're a shortstop who can't field or hit. You're a third baseman who can kind of field but can't really hit. You're a second baseman who can sort of field and maybe hit. And yeah, this is kind of a bad selection of prospects. But I'm going to non-tender the guy anyway, so I might as well get something for him. I think Morel is probably the best choice, just because he's got a pretty good glove at third and a relatively well-rounded skill package. He's also only 23, and there's certainly nothing that says he can't improve with the right coaching. So I think we will go ahead and pick up Mr. Morel here. Complete trade. Michael Perez wants a pretty modest raise. He didn't even play that long in the majors, though. We really need an upgraded catcher. This is becoming increasingly clear to me. Can I get something for Mr. Perez here? I cannot. I'll tell you what. A good defensive catcher is worth an extension. I mean, Stallings isn't great either. I really need a better catcher. I think that almost has to be a priority in free agency this season. I'm going to think about what to do with the two of you. Kevin Newman, I do want to give an extension to for now. Unless Nick Gonzalez is ready for the majors. I don't think he's there yet. I think with another year in AAA, if he builds on what he accomplished last season, we can have this conversation again. But for the moment, I don't think he's a smart pick. So I think we will go ahead and give Mr. Newman here a pretty healthy raise. Not too healthy, you understand, but pretty healthy. How is that? No. You want your arbitration minimum amount, I bet. I shouldn't try to nickel and dime you. It would be silly to throw away Brian Reynolds right now. And I know he hasn't been great, but it's only going to cost me a few $100,000, and it's not my money. And yes, we could probably do a little better, but not a lot better. We want to keep the cheap players while they're cheap. Anthony Alford, you're a decent defensive center fielder, I guess, but you play way too damn often. I'm going to trade you if I can. And maybe I can't. Maybe nobody else wants him. And if they don't, that's fine. I'll probably just non-tender him. Not because I have anything against him, but just because we could do so much better. So, you are non-tendered, my friend. I know what we'll do. I'm kidding. There's no way in a million fucking years that I would offer this guy arbitration. Because he would take this offer in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even blame him for that. I wouldn't mind having Donovan Solano back if we could manage that. Even if he doesn't start at second base, I think having his bat off the bench would be a very helpful thing to have. Cesar Hernandez, whatever, but... No, you're wanting to get paid a tiny bit too much from my perspective. So, I'm going to let you go. Resty here, have a minor league extension if you want it. That's fine. Alright. We're still maintaining maximum payroll flexibility, which means while we could go in hard on a free agent or two, I don't think that's very smart. Let's increase our scouting budget, though. Let's bump this up to $12 million. There we go. It still gives us a pretty healthy amount of money to spend. And let's also bump this up to an even $12 million. There we go. Still enough money to make some moves in free agency. And I think catcher is probably the one position we desperately need to upgrade at. Like right now, we just have 3 catchers, all in their 30s, and none of whom are particularly spectacular. We do have Endy Rodriguez. We could always give him a shot in the majors. Is there any market for Stallings by chance? I don't need 3 30-year-old catchers, none of whom have much of a future. No. Well, we'll see if we can get a mid-range 1-year or 2-year catcher. I'll probably let Rodriguez play in AAA this season. Or something. When is the Rule 5? It is December 26th. I don't want to lose these players to the Rule 5. And we've got a lot of talented players, especially in AA, that we'd just be silly to lose. I'm going to very quickly go through here. Alright. Ji Hwan Bae. I know you've got a bit of talent. I'm not denying that. But I also don't want you on the roster anymore. I mean, I guess I should wait and start trimming the roster later on, because we do only have so many spots around. Let me go ahead and add Endy Rodriguez to the 40-man, and we're going to have Manuel Rodriguez to the 40-man. Mason Martin is a really good power hitter, and yes, I just got Luke and Baker, who I do expect to be our first baseman for a while, but that doesn't mean we can't use reinforcements. But he's never going to be as good as Baker, I don't think. Maybe he might be. It's worth putting him on the 40-man just to let him get some experience. And then I do like you as well, and we're not super well stacked at either of the outfield positions, so I'll go ahead and put you there. You're a reliever. You're not a starter. I don't care how many pitches you have. Your stamina's not good enough. And then we may make some room on the 40-man for a couple of other people. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and non-tender Perez. As much as I'd like to get something for him, I need his 40-man spot more than I need him. And if I can get a decent veteran catcher, I'll probably chuck Stallings too. Joseph Stallings, as he prefers to be called. I'm kidding. We're also going to have to clear off some other spots on the 40-man. We'll figure something out. Let's advance time a bit and see what comes of some of these things here. People are liking my offers. You were going to be my hitting coach for what now? Oh, for high A. I will give you $110,000 a season. I would like you to be my guy. Fine. I'll give you a bit of a raise. I find it interesting that these players that are wanting these ridiculous posting fees are not very good. I'm wondering if that is something that will improve over time. Because, bruh, I'm not spending that much money. Jesus Christ, Kit Pello. Fine. I don't think you're that great, but I will pay a little bit more for a good coach. You know what, Kit? If someone is that desperate to have your services, I am not spending that much money on a double-A hitting coach. Oh, but you're really damn good. Alright, you know what? $220 is my final offer. I bet someone wants him for the majors. I bet that's why he's being a little butthead and continuing to demand higher money. Ooh, who won a Gold Glove for us? Brian Reynolds. Very nice. Hey, look, it's ex-Pirate Adam Frazier won his second Gold Glove, and he actually forgot he could hit when he got to the Pirates. Oh well. That was the kind of deal. Again, I want payroll flexibility. That's extremely important. Are you freaking kidding me? I really want this guy now. And I know I'm competing with someone who wants him for the majors. Like, there's no one else that's going to pay that much money to a minor league pitching coach. Or hitting coach, rather. If he says no, he says no. I'm done. I'll find someone who's not quite as good. Yeah. Fuck you, buddy. There's plenty of coaches to pick from. I'll pick up Eric Patterson. Ooh, you know what? No, I'm going to pick up Ruben Gauthier. Look, I didn't win Manager of the Year. I'm so sad about that. There we go. You know what else I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to trade him first, but I'm gonna non-tender Stallings. I don't see much value in keeping a catcher like that when I could potentially get a 1-year stopgap and let what's-his-face keep developing. Yes, I know, I just said what's-his-face. I can't even bother to remember the names of my players, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna non-tender you too. I just don't see much value in overpaying for bad catching. And right now, we're actually kind of badly hurting for 40-man spots. I guess that's true, Garrett Richards. Oh, you can't be on the 40-man because I don't have any open spots yet. Let's go ahead and just release Bassett. Let's give him a couple extra days of free agency. Just because I need the spot for him. I don't know that I'm going to keep Garrett Richards, to be honest with you. But I would at least like to try and get something for him. Which does involve us spending a bit of cash on that. So, okay. We won our hearing with Pavetta. He's probably not going to be happy about that, but he already doesn't like us. Now, I want you to look carefully at these names, my friends. We are signing none of these players. It's not even up for debate that I can't afford any of these people. Before I even look. Let's do Hall of Fame voting first, and then we will come back and do free agent voting. Carlos Beltran's record on the field more than earns him a spot in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. He's one of the best base stealers of all time, percentage-wise. An all-around amazing player. And I know a lot of people don't like him because of the business with the Astros, and that's their opinion. I prefer to judge people purely based on what they did on the field, though. Unless someone's, like, really just the worst. We'll vote Big Poppy. Jeff Kent. Someone brought this up in the chat. I didn't vote for him last time. I think... I see why I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for him because it wouldn't have mattered. He's at 21%. There's no way he gets in. It's his 10th year. If I have an open spot, I'll throw him a vote just because I always liked him as a player. Again, another not very nice human being, but I always liked him as a player. But I'm not gonna waste a ballot spot if there's someone who might be more deserving. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a vote to Bobby Abreu. I think he's always been undersung his entire career, and I think he deserves to be recognized for his talents. I'm just going to the bottom to make sure. I have a habit of filling all my spots at the top. Gary Sheffield was one of the best hitters in Major League history and also one of the worst fielders and base runners in Major League history. I would vote for him, and I'm going to, but I know why a lot of people don't. I'm going to vote for Manny Ramirez. He's a slam dunk candidate, if not for the PED thing. Andy Pettit, I think, deserves it. I still have 3 spots left on my roster. Anyone else here I feel particularly enthusiastic about voting for? Andrew Jones and Jeff Kent can both get on my ballot. I don't think it's going to matter for either one of them, but it might. And Tim Hudson. There we go. That's my ballot. Submit. And we also have free agency filings today. What positions do we most want to fill? Catcher is probably target number 1. Other than that, we have a bunch of players that aren't particularly impressive at anything. So I'd honestly take just about any upgrade that doesn't cost us very much. I'd like at least one more starter or a true closer if we're going to try to make Chu here into a starter. But I won't make him into a closer. I'm not sure what his... He wants to be a closer, then he's a closer. I thought he did a decent job last season as closer. He gave up a few too many home runs, though. But, you know what? He's cheap still. Let's make him a closer. I wouldn't mind... Let's see here. I'd like at least one more veteran starter. That's on my wish list. And then just anywhere I can upgrade a little bit. Find like a 1-year rental. Is there anyone on my team who's getting old? And by old, I mean 30 or above. That's a position player. No, Kevin Newman is someone we're going to want to deal with in the medium term. Like, as much as I like Kevin Newman, Nick Gonzalez has every bit the level he does, and he's a better all-around hitter. As long as he has a good year in AAA, I'll probably just sign him to his arbitration deal and then trade him or let him walk. I looked at Hall of Famers again. How foolish of me. Thanks again to the person who pointed that out. I feel very silly that it never occurred to me that that was the issue. Chris Klein. I have a friend who is obsessed with Chris Klein. No, Kevin Kline is the actor. Sorry. There we go. And let's just get all these reset. Oh, the whole reason I took control of Noah Smith is because he's wasted 2 seasons in rookie ball. I'm going to send you up to high A. I think you can handle it. You've had you've had a very good rookie season. I want to see you over the course of a full season. And Liover Peguero is a perfectly acceptable short-term shortstop. Get it? Short-term shortstop. We just need better hitters at pretty much any position. But catcher is, I think, priority number 1. So let's just see what's on the free agent market. We're not looking to make a big splash here, because we can't afford a big splash even if we could. I like James Paxton. I think he'd be an interesting addition. I don't like this. I'm not giving up a draft pick for him. Where am I picking this season? I have the number 8 and the number 14 overall picks. Let's go to the draft pool. And again, there's one megastar, and then there's a few others that aren't quite as good. Somebody said my scout sucks. He's not the worst. He's not the best either, but he's not the worst. And he does favor ability, and what that means is he favors someone who can help the team right now. Maybe it would be worthwhile to fire him. Who is currently available? Staff search. I would like scouting directors. Oh my word, this guy. I know he's also highly favorability, so he's likely to have many of the same things, but he's such an amazing scout. Who's the very best at scouting the minors? You know what? James Hurst might be a better choice. No. I want somebody who can do... Because here's my thinking. Our key to success is going to be international and amateur scouting. And a guy who's got 3 legendaries is worth more than someone that happens to favor tools. Unless this guy's even thinking about coming to the States, and he's not. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hire him right now. Because that is a special scouting director. And that's just going to make us better. We're going to get better information on all the players we see. It's going to be a good time for everyone. It's so important to me that I'm actually going to go ahead and wait to see if we get our new scouting director. And if we do, then and only then will I start investigating free agency. There we go. Done. Oh, look. His last thing for us was to find it out. All right. Scouting, your budget is set. This is fine. I know he hasn't had a chance to get settled yet, which is going to mean it's going to be hard for me to know if I can trust him or not. But I'm willing to give it a shot. All right, so the first thing that I would like to have is a veteran catcher who's not too expensive. I could get, no, I said not too expensive. Austin Hedges might be that catcher. He's cheap, and I know he can't hit, but he's cheap. And he's vastly better than some of the other catchers on the market. I think I will offer him a contract. A 1-year deal for $4 million is pretty reasonable for you. All right, all batters, and I'm just looking for any high potential types. Aramis Ottoman, huh? No, you're not very good. Kane would be an upgrade defensively, but not really anywhere else. There's nobody else here that I can look at and say conclusively that, yes, I want that player in my life. Jordan Luplow's not terrible, but... Now, Jackie Bradley Jr., I could put you in right, because right field hasn't been a big area of production for us. Actually, let's look at all out. No, Mika Rodolfo's in right now. Yeah, I don't really see a ton of value in any of these guys. I'll probably wait and let some of the higher ticket guys sign and just let my scout get more accustomed to them. But I could grab Wilson Contreras. He's not worth $19 million a year, though, and only a delusional idiot would think he is. I like Roberto Ramos's power. I like that a lot, actually. Not enough to spend $11 million on him, though. I've only got so much money to throw around, and I can't afford to waste it on something like that. All right, Gerson Moreno. You're exactly the kind of thing that the Pittsburgh Pirates are looking for. You're cheap, and you have some talent. So, I'm going to give you a contract offer. I guess my question is, do we want to upgrade the bullpen significantly? Because I could make Chu here either into a starter or just like a long man. I can splurge a bit on a quality reliever, like a Josh Hader. He didn't have a great season with Milwaukee, though. But he's also cheap. And he's going to be looking to prove that he's not washed up. There's also Edwin Diaz. He's another one that might be a good acquisition for us. But we had Edwin Diaz in the other one. Let's get on Hader time here. Yes, I agree. And I do want one cheap starter. How's about Yariel Rodriguez? He's wanting a decent-sized outlay, but at the very least, he's a long man in the back of the pen, and he's not asking for a lot of money. I will spend a bit of cash on that. And I think that's enough free agency for right now. We're going to try to keep this nice and inexpensive. Ooh, LA just... Houston just cracked out some things there. How much more money are the Red Sox offering you? Not a lot more. I'm willing to go up to... You know what? I'm going to make this easy on you. I'm going to go up to $5 million. But if you don't take it, I will happily upgrade my bullpen much more cheaply. You will give me... No. I agree with you, Ben Sherrington. That's a silly offer. Who the heck just got signed for all that money? Xander Bogaerts? Houston? Alright. Joey Gallo made a crap ton of money. That's fascinating. Is this Degrom? Yeah, it's Jacob Degrom. That's a smart signing. I mean, he is on the older side, but Jacob Degrom also got started in the majors pretty late. I want to say he was like in his mid to late 20s before he even made the majors. Yeah, here we go. He's 25. I think that's smart. I think he's probably got a lot more innings left, and I don't think they'll regret this as much as it might seem. What did that say? Till 2036? 2026. Okay. That's far less stupid than I was thinking. Alright. I do want to upgrade the bullpen no matter what. But I also have a few interesting relievers in the minors that I think could probably do the job quite nicely without me paying a bunch of money for them. So you're definitely getting an invite to spring training, Nick Mears. And maybe the same for Wesley Linares. I'm not sure. We're definitely going to give some people some shots and see how they turn out. Matt Gorski, you are okay. You're not great, but you're okay. All right. Solomon, if you develop even 1% of talent defensively, you could be a very damn good player for a very long time. I bet you were signed... Did I sign him? Where did he come from? Don't know. Rule 5 draft. I'm probably going to lose a couple people in the Rule 5, and if I do, that's fine. But, like, it's like, if I lose Wesley Linares or Francisco Piguero, are we going to be screwed? Friends, we are not. And I can probably do better. So, we're going to check the Rule 5 draft for some relievers. It's one of my favorite places to find them. Auto pick until Pittsburgh, please. Like, Durbin Feltman is exactly the kind of pitcher I would love to have on our roster and to give a shot to. This is just an easy layup pick. I will look at other players in case there's, like, a batter that's quite close to the majors. Not you. You, definitely you. Welcome to the Pirates, amigo. And then Julian Fernandez. I think yes. Plus he's a yard goat. Who doesn't love that? Yeah, and I'm going to grab you too. And then I think I'm done with the Rule 5 this year. So, I'm probably the only person who took anyone. Yeah, that's fascinating. Okay. Yeah, and as bad as my bullpen was last season, they both represent a pretty significant upgrade. I have to keep Singer because he's left-handed, right? Yeah. Maybe one of the new guys is a lefty. I'm not sure. You would offer me a pretty good relief prospect, a not as good starting prospect, and a kind of trash prospect. No, right now Tanner Rainey is super cheap. And I'm glad that people are interested in him, and there's definitely a chance that he'll get traded at some point. I don't think this is a good enough return, though. Kalish absolutely is, but I'd want to be able to mitigate my risk by picking up a couple more prospects. So I'm going to reject the trade. And if I get a lot of people calling about Tanner Rainey, I might move him sooner than later. I do think the other leagues I have running do slow down the sim time a little bit, so let me know if that's something that you find distracting. Let's go ahead and put you on the active roster because you have a major league contract anyway. Friends, I'm going to trade Garrett Richards now. I don't think he's got anything left to offer. And right now he's taking up a roster spot that I could use on somebody else. And right now, 40-man spots are at a premium. So if anyone wants to offer me a decent prospect for G. Rich here. No? Okay. I guess other people don't think too highly of him either. Which is fine. Hey, Austin Hedges signed. That's going to give us a nice steady hand at catcher for a season. I may even let Maxwell be the backup for the first season, just to let... I'd rather him play every day if I had to pick Mr. Endy Rodriguez. I'd rather you play every day so you can improve your offense and then call you up. Do I have any other offers pending? I think just the one for Josh Hader, right? If he takes my offer, he takes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm not really going to lose any sleep one way or the other. You're at the end of your career, aren't you? But we could manage $12 million. And there's every possibility that we pick him up and flip him to a contender. It's a bit riskier. It is a bit riskier than some of the other deals that we've made. But it's the exact kind of thing that we're going to need to do if we're going to really build up our system. Why did it have to be a 4-year contract? I'll tell you what, buddy. 3 years. Team option, team option. And definitely no trade clause. I'm not giving you a no trade clause. Yeah, he wants a no trade clause. I'm not giving him that. That's a bridge too far for me. So enjoy your time with whatever team signs you, but I'm not going to be that team. And Josh Hader's probably going to sign with the Mariners. I'm fine with that. I think I have a good enough bullpen right now. This doesn't make any sense. Atlanta, I know you definitely want Tanner Rainey in your life. Who doesn't? But I'm not doing that. Yeah, once we get to spring training, I might check the bargain bin and see if there's an interesting free agent or two. Yeah, Kent didn't even crack 33%. David Ortiz got in. Carlos Beltran came quite close. Yeah, there's a lot of deserving people that aren't going to make the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. But that's true to real life. I don't even blame OOTP for it. I blame the voters who have a stick up their asses about performance-enhancing drugs while simultaneously saying, oh, definitely Bud Selig, the guy who enabled all this shit. It's a double standard, and I think that's why I don't care about PEDs. It just doesn't affect things at all to me. Not to mention everyone taking greenies in the 70s and 80s. How is that not a PED? I think people get really weird sticks up their asses about performance-enhancing drugs. I want to say we got Clemens but not Bonds. Is that right? Or was it Bonds but not Clemens? Inducted players. Here we go. Year inducted. We want 2020. Oh no, that was the real life Hall of Fame class. So 21 would be the first one for the game. Nobody got inducted in 2021? Oh, again, in real life. Yeah, no one did get inducted that year. That's right, yeah, it was just Schilling and A-Rod. Both Bonds and Clemens got bounced. That may well end up happening in real life. And if it does, it does. But I still think it's ridiculous that that's the hill they're going to die on. That, oh, Bud Selig is fine. The people throughout the 60s and 70s who took methamphetamines by the fucking fistful are fine. But, the Hall of Fame's always been a bit hypocritical, but it's especially bad now, I think. How much money did you sucker out of the Dodgers? They literally gave you the same amount that I did. You probably just wanted to play for a contender. I wish you would just admitted that. To make it sound like it was about the cash, dude, because it wasn't about the cash. I'm not really seeing anybody here. Like, Ryan Presley might be a good reliever. I'm not paying him $8 million, though. That's too damn much money. Oh, he actually wants less money now. Can I get you to take out the no trade clause? No, you're very insistent. So then, no. Edwin Diaz might be the best choice. I know this is a lot of money to spend on a reliever, but if we significantly upgrade the bullpen, I think that's something that'll pay off for years to come. I know we had Edwin Diaz with the Orioles, and it's going to seem like I'm just copying my previous steps. But I really do think it makes the best sense for this team. And unlike all these other jackasses, he's the only one who's saying he doesn't want a no-trade clause. Give me a team option, and I will agree to this offer. so that I can get rid of you if you turn out to be too expensive. And I do think having a significant improvement in the bullpen is going to pay dividends. And there we go. We got Edwin Diaz. Damn, everyone's going to the Dodgers. Yeah, I think this is an extremely reasonable deal for a top-notch pitcher. Oh, you're going to be the closer, Edwin. I have like 7 closers now, but we'll figure it out later on. I feel a lot better about our bullpen this season. Just like so much better. I just wish I'd gotten another lefty. I feel like I'm being held captive by Jeff Singer. I could have Steven Brault do it, but he's not that much better. Well, we're going to have a lot of bullpen competition in spring training this season. And I think we're going to see a significant improvement. And I think the best part about this improvement is that I've spent very little money to make it happen. Other than the big contract to Diaz, which wasn't that big, we've really overhauled the bullpen. And I think it's going to help the rest of the team. And I really like the Austin Hedges signing. I really think he's going to provide quality veteran leadership so that I can let Andy Rodriguez develop at his own pace before I hand him the keys to the kingdom. And the Giants got Charlie Morton. Did they give him the no-trade clause? Yes. But they also only got him for 1 year. I might have actually gotten involved in that, but I didn't. So, well. Alright, spring training time. Eddie Yeen, Nick Mears, Gerson Moreno. You can join the fun. Matt Gorski. Ooh, you do not like Nick Gonzalez. He could be a second division starter. Well, we're going to be second division for a while, so maybe that's good. I'm just chucking everybody with any sense of talent into spring training. There we go. Bench coach, you do your thing. Lineup, you do your thing. What is your obsession with Cole Tucker? Are you going to be one of these guys that have to trade because someone gets a weird hard-on for him? I don't know. I also don't care because it's spring training. I do not care. Because it's baseball and baseball is weird, I'm not saying it's impossible that we somehow manage to make the playoffs this season, but if we do make it, we're way ahead of schedule, and I am definitely not going to sell out if that happens. I'm not going to start like flipping prospects in an attempt to make the World Series, because it's not worth it. It is not worth it to me to torch seasons of development for one World Series. It just isn't. And it never will be. Not in OTP anyway. Some dips here and there, some improvements in other places. Remember, it's the spring training curse. You don't want to look too much into any of this. We'll just have some decisions to make in a little bit here. You're giving me the minor league version of Tanner Rainey for Tanner Rainey, but I've already got Tanner Rainey, is the thing. Ooh, waivers. I forgot about that. Wallace is arguably a borderline starter, which is the one thing that makes me hesitate about this deal. And I do have a super crowded bullpen anyway. Let's see if I can get some more out of this. Like, you're not going to give me Blaze Jordan. I'm not under that delusion. Are you shitting me? I know he's a work in progress, but this is a lot cheaper than I thought it would be. Like, you want a guy like Aranda? No, I do like Aranda, actually. Contreras is not very good. I mean, he is so raw, right? He could be anything. Could I get a draft pick out of this? Like, say, your first round pick? No, I'd have to give you something pretty darn good. Understandable. You just want a little more. Aranda's 17 years old, and as much as I like his contact, this is getting me a second round pick. I say we take it. Because the guy with the potential of 39, and I think that's largely because he is so raw. Yeah, this is what my scout says. I'm going to trust my scout. I'm going to be like, hey, buddy, I just signed you for a bunch of money. Let's pull the trigger. Wait, so did I not get their second round pick? Or... Here we go. Yeah. I am more than happy with that trade. If you're going to overpay that badly for a reliever, go for it. I'm not saying he's not an excellent reliever, and I'm not saying he's not super cheap. But you just gave me arguably someone who's as good as he is, but he's a starter, a borderline starter, and if not a starter, then a good reliever. You gave me a first baseman with elite power potential. These do not grow on trees. And while I know he's pretty raw, I am more than willing to let Mr. Blaze Jordan develop. And I'm going to send you to high A. There we go. That was one of the easiest decisions I've ever had to make in OOTP. That was such a slam dunk trade. Okay, Quinn Priester is not a freaking reliever. Stop putting him as a reliever. He's a starter. And if you're going to make me pick between making him be a reliever or a starter, I'm going to punch some people. I don't know, why don't I just click this button over here. Alright, friends, the games are done. And we got a whole lot of people to move around. Alright, starting with pitchers. I want to get down to 13. 13 pitchers, please. the heck is Jeff Hartlieb? Yeah, bro, you suck. Alright. So, step 1, Blake Wyman, minors. Logan Reinhart, minors. I wish I had a few more lefties. I'm going to make you a starter, and I'm going to send you to AAA. This is just because I'm not giving up on you as a starter. And I want you to get a chance to pitch every day. Although, heck, I would start you in the majors over Nick Pavetta. Can anyone give me a prospect for Pavetta? Please. Not one person. I mean, I guess I'll waive him, and if I lose him, I lose him. I'm not bothered by that. Yeah, you're not very good. You're definitely not very good. I've seen worse opening day rotations. Steven Brault is a lefty. And he did a good job of getting lefties out. Like, Steven Brault is better than freaking Jeff Singer. I'm gonna send you to the minors. Eddie Yeen, you can go to the minors. I'm just gonna waive Garrett Richards and hope someone takes him off my hands for me. Moreno to the minors. Marvel to the minors. As a long man, I like Chu, and I think that's maybe his best role, so I think we leave him on the roster. How many am I down? I'm down to 17. Mears to the minors, then. Maybe Chu to the minors? Hope he can work on his movement a bit. Yeah, I think that's actually not a terrible idea. Yariel Rodriguez to the minors. That's an easy choice. Steven Wilson is about as good as the rest, but doesn't have as high a ceiling. So you can go to the minors. How many am I at now? I'm now with 13 pitchers. Okay, perfection. Let's get the pitching staff set up then. So we're going to nuke what we got. And we're going to go to current pitching ratings. And again. Alright. Ace is clearly Mitch Keller. And just as clearly, Edwin Diaz is our closer. And I'm going to use you in the traditional sense of just the 9th inning. If I look at only starters, I want Bolton and Brubaker before I use Avila, just because of Avila's control issues. And then Priester will be our 5th starter. And my opening day starter will hopefully be Mitch Keller. Did I just sign you to an extension? I did. Okay. As for the rest of the staff, bro, you're my anti-lefty guy by default. Who's got a good mix of control and everything else? Patrick Murphy, you're gonna be emergency starter, long man. I guess you can be anti-lefty long relief. That's fine. Durbin Feltman is probably the best mix between stuff, movement, and control, so I'm going to temporarily make you the setup guy in the 8th inning. And then I'm going to make Manuel Rodriguez the 7th inning guy. And then I think everyone else is just going to do some middle relief work. And these roles can change over the course of the season. This is just something to get us started with. And I know our bullpen seems weak right now, but this is also a bullpen with ridiculous levels of potential. Like, the only pitcher who's not a 50-plus is Stephen Broll. And 3 of them are 60-plus. So I am very excited to see what they can manage once we give them the chance to earn their role. Okie dokie. Pitching staff set. Anyone who did make the 40 who needs to? Nope. Andy, you didn't play very long in Double-A. I'm going to send you back there and then trust my minor league managers to promote you when you're ready to Triple-A. Ji Hwan Bae, you offer very, very little at this time. I'm just going to send you right to Triple-A and see if you can figure your own shit out. Martin, you're way too green. Back to Double-A with you. Gonzalez to Triple-A. Castro to Triple-A. Fajardo to Double-A. I did not expect this problem. Did I send on too many infielders? I sure did. I need at least one more. I need at least one more infielder. I have too many outfielders. I know I don't want Ornelas yet. I definitely want Ornelas to get a lot more experience before he plays in the majors regularly. Huh. No, I guess he's always been fairly good at defense. Okay. I don't really need Matt Gorski right now. I think I'll let Gorski go back to the minors. And then I'm going to have to call up another infielder. Gonzalez only plays second. Castro plays second, but also plays some short and third. He's not great at any of those positions, but he might be good enough to be a utility guy. The other thing we could do is we could just check out who is available on the waiver wire on opening day, and then we can claim somebody then. And I think that actually makes sense. Because utility infielders are exactly the kind of players that tend to be snuck through waivers and hope that somebody else doesn't grab them. Are we the top 100 prospects? Not even Mr. Blaze Jordan? No? How's my minor league system looking? I'm the number 3 minor league system, mostly thanks to quantity. I'm okay with that. And now waiver wire. All infielders, please. It's our old pal Colin Moran. I don't want him, though. Jorge Mateo, maybe. He's a good mix of second and short. He's not terrible at either one of them, and he can hit a little bit. He's certainly more advanced than anyone that I've got in the minors, so I will actually claim you off of waivers. And then I'm going to go ahead and set up my lineup and depth chart now, and then I'll just have to... I'll add what's-his-face if he gets claimed. Priester, I do not want you hitting. Unless you're going to be decent at it, and I'm not convinced you will be, but I guess I can just leave you there for right now. Alright. Batting ratings. Best hitter on the team. It's Kabryan Hayes. Like, top to bottom, he's the best hitter on the team. He's going to be hitting third. Kevin Newman works as a number 2 hitter. I don't think he works as a leadoff guy. I don't think he's got a good enough eye to get on base regularly. So we're going to stick him there. Liover Peguero, I think, is probably the best leadoff guy on the team right now. Him or Cole Tucker, actually. Peguero's a bit faster, so I think we will put Peguero up there. Cleanup is going to be Adolfo or Baker? Tucker is a good all-around right fielder. I guess I didn't... Maybe it's because my last coach wasn't as good. He's a pretty solid all-around right fielder. I don't have any issues whatsoever with giving him a bigger role on the team. Who hits cleanup here? Among the options that we have. Baker or Adolfo? Adolfo's got the gap power, so I think Adolfo can hit cleanup and Baker can hit fifth. I like Cole Tucker better than Brian Reynolds. Let's have Cole Tucker learn some left field, and he can play there this season. I have no doubt he'll pick it up pretty quickly. Center field is going to be Swaggerty, and then catcher is going to be Austin Hedges. Yeah. Oops. Okay, let's see what you think of my depth chart here. Game, I understand Alamaeus is a great shortstop. He's not a great hitter, and I would like Peguero to get experience so that he can become a better shortstop. He will never become a better shortstop if you don't let him. So, I think this works on the whole, and it gets us the best possible lineup. This is still not a lineup that's going to strike fear in anybody. With the possible exception of Kabryan Hayes, no one on this team is an all-around threat. I mean, we do have 30-homer hitter Mika Rodolfo, and I think he's someone that people are going to get scared of, and I have a lot of thoughts about Luke and Baker over the course of a full Major League season. That I think he's going to fix some of the holes in his game, and he's going to prove that we were right to take him when we traded to St. Louis. And I don't remember giving up very much for him at all. No, it was Adam Frazier I wasn't going to keep anyway. Trey Fletcher's a while off, but even he might turn out to be a pretty decent player. So yeah, I don't think this is the kind of lineup that anyone's going to fear, but I do think it's the kind of lineup that can be competitive. And I think competitive is the watchword for this particular season. I don't care if we make the playoffs this season. I would be surprised if we did. And if we did make the playoffs, I would be willing to bet a fairly small sum of money that we wouldn't get anywhere if we did. On the flip side, if we can just inch closer and just keep building on our talent base, I think we'll have a lot of success. Mika Rodolfo. I'm telling you right now, this is the exact kind of player that other teams will want to overpay for. If he puts together a second season like his first, I'm probably going to trade him. And this is because, and I apologize if I butcher his name, Kanan Smith Njigba? Just Jigba? I know sometimes the end is silent, sometimes it's not. I think he can be as good as Adolfo. If not a little bit better. Now, there's one other thing that I want to think about before I make my final decision on this roster. Do I want him on the Major League roster when he hasn't played past AAA yet? I'd almost rather have Gorski, just because Gorski's a little bit better, more well-rounded. And because he does have that... Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to switch these two. No, every 7 games. No, not even that. If starter tired, stop it. And then you're going to copy this lineup. I don't think we have anyone that has a big hole in their swing anymore. Maybe Kevin Newman, but not really. Generate. If starter tired, only if starter tired. And then bench coach, you can do your thing for these two. I don't really care what you do with that. Why on earth are you so insistent on playing freaking Alameus at every possible opportunity? I know he's a good shortstop, but come off it, dude. He can't hit. Not consistently. Whatever, bro. So yeah, that gives you a full season in AAA to improve, and I think that's more valuable than just having you come off the bench every now and again. Gorski is what he is at this point. He's not likely to get a whole lot better. He might eventually hit for a higher average, but his season in AAA was pretty solid. I'm more than willing to let Mr. Gorski here have an opportunity to thrive as a 4th outfielder. I guess a 5th outfielder. Brian Reynolds, I don't know what we're going to do about you. I thought at one point you were a bright part of this team's future. I'm no longer convinced of that. And that's not your fault. It's because we're getting more talent on every side of the ball, which is a sign that we're growing and maturing and improving as a team. It's not saying that you suck. It's saying that you're not... We're no longer looking for 2nd division starters, in other words. We're looking for 1.5 division starters. And as long as that continues to be where we are, then that's where we are. Anything else I'd like to do prior to ending this episode? Not really. Why are we not starting Mitch Keller on opening day? He's rested. Mitch Keller starts. Yeah. Yes, I am less sanguine about our rotation. The bullpen has room to grow, but when it does grow, I think it'll be one of the better bullpens for a pretty small price tag. But this rotation... Someday we could have 3 big horses on it. But I think we need to focus heavily on starting pitching in the draft. And I think that's actually how we'll conclude our draft here. Wow, our scout really doesn't think very highly of very many of these players. The thing is, I've already got very high accuracy in all of them. I don't see a lot of sense in going deeply here. Yikes. Now, one thing we might want to consider doing is, as we get closer to the draft, if there's one player that we absolutely fall in love with, that we think can solve some, if not all, of our problems, we might want to consider packaging our 2 draft picks to move up in the draft. I'm not saying we're going to do that. To be honest, the class of 2023 doesn't thrill me. But at the very least, we have one elite prospect in this draft. And I would like to make him part of Pittsburgh, but not so badly that I think I'm willing to trade up for him. Are we ever going to get, like, a super talented class? Maybe not. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is the fact that our current scout favors ability and not tools. And what that means is he cares about how productive... He is likely to hit on the high floor prospects, but he's likely to miss on the high ceiling prospects. Just because it's not what he favors. But he's such a good scout all around that I still think it makes a ton of sense to have him be our scout. I mean, look at this shit. He's great at everything. I love it. So, that is what we're looking at with him. Oh, he used to be a player. I didn't know that. He had one season for the Detroit Tigers back in 1991, and he wasn't very good. Well, that may be why I've never heard of him. But yeah, I think we are in decent shape. We're going to have a couple of financial decisions to make this offseason. Not big ones, but we are going to have some to make. The most specific decision I can think of right now that's going to impact our future going forward is what we do with Kevin Newman. And especially because our new scout doesn't really love Nick Gonzalez, who was kind of hoping on being our... Where'd Gonzalez go? Oh, he's in Double A. Okay. I guess I'll go to Double A. He did fine in Triple A. He just... Dang it. It's because I clicked on Bakley. I'm sorry. My scout, please. Thank you. Maybe he's changing his tune on him. Yeah, he's an interesting one. And I think he's going to be a decent player at some point. I just don't think he's here yet. The thing that's going to hold us back in the medium term, with a couple of exceptions, is that we don't have the top tier prospects. We've got some good ones. And you may say Noah Smith wasn't worth the first overall draft pick. And you know what? You might be right. You might not be right about that. I don't know how I feel about him yet. We're going to have to see how he does this season. And you're going to also say Jack Leiter was the clear pick, and I get that, and I just didn't want to have an exact duplicate of the Orioles experience. Except for Edwin Diaz, apparently. Apparently, I can't quit Edwin Diaz. Yeah, you gave up a lot of homers last season, friend. But hopefully by playing in Pittsburgh, you'll do a bit better. We basically have one superstar in Hayes who does everything well. I don't know that he'll ever hit 30 homers a season, but the rest of his game is so well-rounded that even last season when he hit under 280, he still had a 6-win season. Like, this contract right now is highway robbery, and if he doesn't opt out in 2028, we're going to have a discussion about what to do with him. We have players like Peguero, who have all the raw talent in the world and could be the next excellent Pittsburgh Pirate. And Noah Smith is so far from being Major League ready, I'm not even considering him blocking. I'm not even considering that he's blocking him. And maybe we even end up trading Noah Smith at some point. Maybe Blaze Jordan taps into his full raw talent and can hit like 50 homers a year for us. It's going to take some time to see how Mr. Jordan... I wonder if he's Brian Jordan's son. The outfielder for Atlanta for a long time. If you know in the comments, by the way, let me know if he's related to Brian Jordan. Maybe not, but maybe too. Let's make sure Mr. Jordan here is shortlisted. But yeah, we have a lot of decent talent, and we have a lot more coming up through the pipeline, but we don't have starting pitching. And so maybe that means at some point we're going to have to crack open the checkbook and hope that we can acquire one or two great starters. And maybe Keller, Bolton, and Priester all develop to their maximum capabilities, and we have a pretty damn good rotation that way too. But you can never guarantee stuff like that. And so that's where I think we're going to need to spend a lot of our time and energy, is trying to find young, elite prospects to fill out the rotation. Speaking of rotations, just out of curiosity, are there any starters that we could grab off of waivers? Nobody good. I mean, I guess Joey Lucchese's not the worst. The only reason I would want to grab him is so I could send Priester back to the minors to develop his craft. So maybe for that reason he's worth grabbing. Yeah, you know what? Let's put in a claim on him too. And then if I do acquire him, then Priester goes to the minors, so that he can start building up his arm strength and unlock his true potential. That's going to be it for this episode, though. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, this has been Indian, and I bid you good day.